Good morning, folks. This is Greg Judy at Green Pastures Farm. It's a cold, blustery morning here in December. A little bit of wind. We got a really nice rain all day yesterday. It wasn't heavy, but it got things nice and rehydrated. And anyway, we just moved the mob up on the hill here. This is a leased farm, and it fastens on to one of our other farms. It's 100 acres. It's mainly for hunting, and but it does have some open land on it. And so what we've done this morning is we brought some hay in here because there's no grass. This is just basically broom sedge, bare soil, oak leaves, and pretty fortunate though. It does have a pond on it, and we've got a wire around that pond where they can stand on the bank there and drink. And that's a really old pond. You can tell by the trees that are growing on the dam. But it holds a lot of water, and we don't let the animals in there. So what we did is we brought, this is pretty high quality hay right here. The cows aren't in here too much yet because they've got some good grass out there on the top. You can see the majority of the cows are up there on top. But guys, if you want to bring that foliar on up by that old pond that we're cutting out, I'll end up there. Thank you all. So what we've done is we brought some really high quality hay, put it on some really poor ground, and well, you can see right here, I put 3 tons of lime on this about 2 months ago, just to get the pH up to where it would try and grow something. Still got a lot of moss on it, but it's a start, and if you don't start, you'll never get there. So you can take some really degraded land and with the right soil amendments, starting with hay and cattle, that's a good one. But you know, you can jumpstart it by putting some lime on that. And I mean, lime's expensive, but so is land. So we can take land that you don't have a lot in. This is a very economical lease here, this fellow. And so because he gave us that type of lease, I'm willing to come in here and do some of the things on his land, like lime, and put down a little bit of phosphorus and some organic matter in the form of purchased hay. And so we're inoculating his farm with all these poo and pee spots. And there was a little mud hole up here on top of this hill. It's right in front of his house. And this is well, I call it a frog pond. And it dried up. I think it had about 6 inches of water in it. Boy, there's a pretty cow. And so Johnny, I built a new pond right down the hill here last week. That's going to be a different video. It's kind of a neat spot. I'm going to show you all that. We put it up on a hill where we've got a lot of gravity behind it. So it does have a pipe and a valve on it, so we can push water a long ways. Boy, look at that one. 773, you are a beaut. This is winter time. They're grazing Kentucky 31, fescue. And there's a little bit of clover in here. There's some bluegrass, some orchard grass. Now that little heifer there is eating bluegrass. Look at that. She's liking her bluegrass. So this, when I got the lease on this, I told the guy he didn't have any fence. And I said, well, we can fix that. And we put a wire around the place, just a single wire, one high tensile wire. And at the time I leased it, I didn't have a tractor or brush hog, but I told him I would brush hog it. And he goes, well, Greg, you don't have a brush hog. And at that time, I think I was around 300 head. And I said, well, we've got 300 miniature brush hogs. It's got 4 legs on them. Look at that bull's head. He was down there on a dirt bank this morning, just growling like an old grizzly bear. And bulls, he got his neck all dirty. Good looking young bull. But so we took this farm over, we got the fence in, and it was all duff, so it hadn't had any animals on it for over 30 years. And I would have normally thrown a match on this and burned it, but I didn't. We just brought the animals in. And look at this. So we planted all that carbon on the land. There's a lot of bluegrass in here. The bluegrass is not real productive, but you know what? It is another grass that fills in a time slot in your grazing regimen. You know, look at old Grandma. She's looking pretty darn good for a 20-year-old cow that's had 17 calves and she bred back in 21 days. Grandma, you are unbelievable. Great cow. I would have called that cow because of her udder, but you know what? She still puts a calf out every year, and she's not mine. She's my lifetime lease's cow, so I'd keep her too if she's that good. Oh, there's a nice calf. Young calf. Look at the gut. Look at the gut on these two. See, she's already had a calf. That's just gut. Gotta have gut to hold all that grass. You give me my pick, I would put a cow with a gut like that on every cow in here. Because those kind of cows just really go to town. Ben's up there rubbing on that cow. Well, it's got to be 864. I don't know why that cow's so tame, but she is. She's not a bottle cow. We've only got one of those in here, Susie, that my sister Monica raised, and you know, bottle calves just don't do as well. You can't duplicate Mama. Oh, look at this bull right here. Whew. He's a chunk. That's the way you'd like him to look. What I was going to show you over here is the pond. When Johnny came onto this property, I guess it was last Tuesday, and I told him, I said, we came by this pond. I said, Johnny, run down there and cut the dam on that. And so he sunk his blade in here so the water that was in there could just drain out. And it isn't, I mean, it's just a little mud hole right here. It's got a big old tree growing in the base of the, well, it's actually down in the pond. Just a big old tree. And it's sucking up all the water in that poor little pond. But you know what? It's not going to look like that when I get done with it. Or let's put it this way, when Johnny gets done with it. We'll get that dam high enough over there on that side. That's all got to be pushed out of there. He'll get that mud out, and our perimeter fence, we're going to take it up. It's right behind here, but we'll have the livestock out of here by then. And give Johnny some room back there to actually put the dam in. But this is a mud hole. That's all it is. You get a cow stuck in there trying to get a drink, that's not a good thing. So the landowner gave me a good lease. I'm going to give him a pond. We're going to put a pond in here. And it's going to be right here by his, you know, in view of his house. And we'll have it big enough and deep enough we can put fish in it. So he's going to get a pond out of this. And we're going to get a livestock pond. We're going to get some water. We don't have anything right here. So, you know, if you can get water in an old pond like this, it doesn't cost you, it doesn't break the bank to do it, I would do it. And we're just very fortunate to have somebody like Johnny that knows his business. Isn't that a pretty sight? December, the middle of December actually, and all our cows are still grazing. We did put a bale back on that old broken area, try and get a little carbon on the land, give the cows a little dry matter. But you know, when you can go to December, you got 300 and I think there's 374 head in here. You only unroll one bale. That's not too bad. So the cows are down in the bottom. We were thinking about leaving them there again today, and we got down there and boy, they were gone. They were waiting at the gate for us this morning. So they basically told us, no, we're not going to stay here another day. We need to move. And so they made that decision for us. Ben, Isaac, what do y'all think about the condition on these cattle? We've been pushing them a little bit.
We were pointing out the Murray Gray over here.
Before you do that, though, look at this guy. You think he's lost some condition?
Nope, not at all.
My goodness, 14. Yeah, I didn't interrupt you, Isaac. What were you saying?
The Murray Gray, look at how pretty she's looking right now.
That's right there in front of us, that dark color.
Yeah, she's got
Let's walk up there and look at her.
real plump, good condition on her still. She doesn't have a lot of hair like a lot of these.
Yeah, so she's 50% South Pole and 50% Murray Gray.
She's a pretty cow.
And she's got one of the prettiest heifers in the herd.
Yeah, it's right there.
Where is it at?
Right down there, past Big Head. So Big Head's that little white-faced bull. We call him Big Head. I don't know if you want to try showing him on video.
I'm not walking down there.
He's got
I think
big
his head
forehead
looks, yeah, he's got a big old forehead. You nicknamed him Big Head.
And a little nose.
Thanks a lot, guys. Got one named Big Head now.
Yeah.
Well, look at this. What do you think about her?
You can still see the wrinkles on her tail head. I mean, she's doing good.
She has got a chunk of meat on her, doesn't she?
Yep. There's a few of them that are growing some hair too, which is
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep. Well, it's winter time.
It's good. It'll help them through the winter.
Yeah. I was talking to a guy yesterday, and he said all the way through January 24th, I believe that's what you said, James. The high is going to be, the lowest temperature we're going to see is 24, and the highest is going to be 44.
Really?
I can, clip to January 22nd.
Is that what they have predicted already?
That's what he was saying. And I'm like, man, I'd have to believe to see that, because I think we can get colder before that. But
we'll see.
I like the sound of it. I mean, yeah. I'm not going to complain about 44 degrees being, cold. It's chilly, but it's not cold.
Look at this cow right here. She's a good example. She calved like 3 weeks ago, and you wouldn't know it. She looks fat as a pig.
Oh, she's a dandy.
Fat's a good thing, by the way.
Yes. She's still got her love handles.
Yeah.
That fat up on her butt.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Big old gut on her.
And then there's a difference in the South Pole. Here's one right here in the front. She's fat too, and she's got a little bit more hair coat on her.
Yeah.
See that? Look at the gut on that cow. And she's got a spot to put a lot of grass, don't you think, Ben?
You can't read a newspaper underneath her. I mean, she's got short legs.
Yep.
Short to the ground. There's another one behind her. Beautiful.
Yep. Well, we were here. This is going on probably around 60 days rest. 50 to 60 days. And this was clipped once this summer. I try and clip this as a landlord that he kind of likes to see it clipped at least once a year to keep the brush encroachment down. And so it was mowed. I think I mowed it right around July, sometime the middle to latter part of July. And this is our last graze. We won't be back here the rest of the winter. And we're headed toward the big farm, what we call Docks. And then we'll end up over at Judy Farm.
She's gonna calve soon, probably.
She's got a little swelling going on back there. Yep.
She hasn't calved yet this year, I don't think.
So that's one of the issues we have. I mean, we take the bulls out in March 1st, and then we don't put them back in until July. One of the deals with leaving the bulls in that long, of course, is the cows cycle back so quick. Our cows will breed back in 21 days, and somebody went on a rant the other day on the YouTube. Oh, those cows are infertile, and that's bull crap and all that. I'm like, infertile? No, they're not. They breed back in 21 days. If anything, they're super fertile. I mean, I don't see too many cows that'll breed back in 21 days, but these do. And so we had a cow that calved, twice in 1 year?
Yeah, long tail.
Long tail. Yeah, so she calved first calf of the year, and then she calved again. Here, it was 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
So
2 calves in 2020.
I don't think this would work in Montana, Minnesota, where you have really brutal cold weather. I wouldn't want to be calving. But here in Missouri, we can kind of get by with it clear up until, January. We caught up our calving chart and our calving cattle records on our spreadsheet. And what did we notice when we had 4 in the last
6 calves
six
in
ca-
the last like 2 months or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
And a
So
lot of them have been recently. It's
Yeah.
not like they were spread out.
so I'm not gonna change what we're doing just for 6 calves.
I think that also, like, the question about fertility is it's sort of a weird topic, because like it matters a lot if you're trying to have a calving window of like 60 days where you need to make sure that your animals are fertile, because otherwise they're just not going to breed in that period, because that's sort of like conventionally what people like to do.
Yes.
But if your management style is such that you're trying to keep a big herd all year and you let them have that window to be exposed to bulls in, it doesn't necessarily matter if they're breeding back immediately, but as long as they breed back within your management window, then like what's the point? You know what I mean?
Right.
There's
Right.
no, and we don't preg check anything, so we wouldn't necessarily know like who's gets bred when, as long as they get bred within the
She's
year.
getting bred.
Speaking of which,
Yep. She's got a bunch of suitors. Look at that. Yeah, so she comes up open, it's her fault. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and there's more bulls joining the fray.
and if you lived in Montana, like you were saying, you could just adjust it, like so that you calved in the window that you felt was appropriate. Just
Right.
take your bulls out when you need to.
Right. Yep. Well, one of the things, guys, that we've found over the years is by keeping all the bulls in here, especially through the winter time, that's a whole nother herd
Yep.
that we don't have to deal with,
Yeah.
in the wintertime, as far as watering and moving every day, or if you're in full feeding mode where you got to put hay out every day. Golly, you talk about a workload. I've seen people that's fairly close to here, and that's all they do from the time they wake up in the morning, time they go to bed, is they're on a tractor all day long, going from one set of cattle to the next, unrolling hay or putting out bales in rings. And that's a long winter. And that's all you got to look forward to every day, is just to feed animals all winter. So we don't do that. We just have them all in one herd and let them feed themselves as much as is appropriate. And we're going to leave quite a bit of grass here. I can tell there's a lot of grass here. They won't get it all today, but you know what? This farm will come back really nice this spring. So we're excited. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. It's chilly out here, and everyone have a good weekend, and hit that subscribe button on the way out. And I wanted to share with you all, I did get a letter today from YouTube, and they said we gained 35,000 subscribers this year. And that's all to you all. Thank you all. And without you all, there wouldn't be a channel, and I wouldn't be posting videos and trying to share what we're doing and maybe help some people along the way. Thank you all for all the testimonials we get every day. That's awesome. And I think we ended up, it's just been a very different year. But one thing that YouTube commented us on was, I think we uploaded, it was right at 4,000 hours. Was it hours or no? It must have been minutes. I forgot the number. I'll do a video on that. But anyway, what they're saying is, with the pandemic and everything, it's great to keep people energized and excited about the future. We can't do anything about this thing, but we can do something about our attitude and ourselves. And so everybody keep your chin up. It's going to get better before it gets any worse, I believe. And we will come out of this, and we'll be stronger for it. So everyone have a great day, and we'll see y'all down the road.